Well, I'm out here trying to do an experiment on my house and see if I can run some things off of solar power. So here's the service disconnect from the power company. I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to turn on I had the electrician put in a generator input. So now we have a way to power our house without the power company, just in case of emergencies. And I'm doing an experiment to see if I can run a few things off of solar power, such as lights and a coffee maker or whatever we need to use. I'm going to turn this off, so because I know that HVAC is not going to run, and I'm going to turn this furnace off as well. Probably just go ahead and turn all these off, and that will leave us with a few things in the kitchen. And I might as well, I don't want that refrigerator coming on either, so I think that'll do it. So here's the green, it's just a basic drop cord running from my house via a 50 amp RV generator hookup. I attached to a 110 volt drop cord, and I'm running it into, this is where the power is coming from, this power inverter right here. It's only 500 watts, so not going to run a whole lot on that again, but that's why I turned off the refrigerator and HVAC and everything, because I knew that it wasn't going to run a whole lot. Okay, I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to see. I got my kilowatt meter, so it'll tell me exactly how many watts are being used in the house once I turn this on. So we're using 55 to 60 watts. Okay, we're dropping to 49 watts. Okay, so that's not too bad, not too bad. I don't know what we're running in there. I'm gonna go and see what all is on, because 50 watts is quite a lot for everything to be turned off. All right, I went in the house and there was one light bulb on. So I turned that light bulb off, and then I went ahead, just for good measure, and turned the entire breaker, all the breakers off on the breaker box. So the only thing on is my generator hookup, and that is right here. So there should be nothing pulling any power, but it's fluctuating between 0 and 2 watts, it looks like. I'm going to go see if I can turn on a low wattage bulb and see if that works without pulling too much electricity out here, because I have limited power out here, because this is just just 3 12-volt batteries, and all 3 of them are not even hooked up yet. So I'm really only running off of this one 12-volt battery right now. And that is another task on my list today. I'm going to hopefully get these hooked up in parallel, so I can have 12 volts across the board of 3 batteries. All right, so here I am burning 2 light bulbs completely on solar power in my house, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to go see if I have enough room on the wattage to run a few more light bulbs, just to see how much I can run without the inverter tripping. So solely on those 2 light bulbs that I'm running right now, I'm looking between 15 to 20 watts that I'm burning. So that, 30, 40 years ago, that probably would have been unheard of. So I'm really glad for these energy efficient light bulbs. So that's going to allow me to run multiple light bulbs on 500 watts. And that's great news for people who live off the grid. And if there is ever an emergency where we need to run a few things, and that is very encouraging to me. So we may not even need to buy a generator to run the very basic necessities like light. And what I do want to try is running the water pump, and running the water faucet in the house, and see how many watts that pulls. I'm going to try that next. Might take a minute or two for it to kick on, but I'm gonna see if I can run some water for a few minutes without the inverter kicking off. We'll see what happens. Especially with it being overcast today, I'm not getting a lot of power input into these batteries. Well, this really is still on this one 12-volt battery. So that's why I was being a little cautious about, I don't know how long this well pump is going to run when it does start. Yeah, I'm still sitting at 0 to 2 watts right now, 0 to 3 watts. So once this well pump kicks on, I'm not sure how many watts it's going to pull, and on only a 12-volt, one deep cycle 12-volt battery, I don't know how long it's going to last. If it's pulling however many watts, if it's pulling 50 or 100 watts, I'm not really sure how many watts it's going to pull, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this experiment. But I'm curious how long it's going to last, because if we do lose power for several days on end, I want to know, can I use solar power to get water out of the ground from my well? And that is hopefully going to be answered this morning. As soon as this well pump kicks on, I'll try to get a video of that. All right, so the well pump tried to turn on now, and I don't think it's going to do it. It says it's overload, so I'm not sure how many watts it's going to pull, which I was really wanting to know. Before I try any more experimenting with my house's electricity, I'm going to hook these batteries up in parallel. All right, I've got the batteries, all three of them hooked up in parallel. And on this battery on the far left, we're getting 12.64 volts. I'm gonna see, just to make sure I did this right. They should all be 12.64 or somewhere in there. Okay, we're not getting the right reading here. Should be at least 12 volts. There we go, 12.48. That's close enough. And then this one's 12.47. Okay. So I've got wire. See, this is very small wire, but I think for 12 volts this will be okay. I mean, I don't think I'm going to start a fire back here. Hopefully not. So I got black to black and then black to black back here. And really these alligator clips should just be thrown in the trash, because they're just a real pain. Because you know, you stick a little wire in here like this, that's not going to stay out. You know, it's loose in there. I need to fix this. So I like these clips here because you can screw these tight and then the wires will stay in. And that's what I got on these 4 terminals, but this one I don't have a terminal for. I mean, I've got this little clip here I could use, but these alligator clips are going to this inverter, and then these smaller alligator clips are for my charge controller. So I'm a bit limited on my space. I need to get, if I had some more of these screw clamps, I could just clip my alligator clips onto the screw clamps. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm digressing already. Well, I am definitely very excited about this. I finally got these batteries wired in parallel that I have been meaning to do for weeks now, and just there have been so many things going on. I haven't gotten around to it because I've not put it as a priority, and so I'm finally glad to get this done. And the solar power is making a headway here at my house, and I'm very excited about it. So this is the cord going straight to my house. So I'm excited about this. Now I've got 12.6 volts. This Harbor Freight charge controller is wonderful. I've used it for years, but this panel, this button, something is not working. I think this button is not working exactly like it should. So 12.4 volts. I don't know if you saw that flash up, but it won't stay lit for some reason. I guess it's just getting old. But these these, I still have a Harbor Freight light from the original charge controller kit that I got, and it still works nice.